Hey everyone! So this is our third and final video on tips to manage lower back pain, and today's one is a real winner, so pay attention. You know, when you speak to most people like myself that have suffered from lower back pain for a long time, the kind of go-to remedy is strengthen your core. I'm sure you've all heard it 100 times, and most of the time the go-to exercise is that front plank or front bridge, balancing on your elbows. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad exercise. I'm just saying it's not really functional. It's not often throughout your day where you're having to hold yourself in a still, static position and keep a contraction in your core muscles. But the other reason is that it's actually a really difficult exercise to do correctly. So I've got a couple of other exercises that I believe are more functional, slightly easier to do, and if you master these, going forward into more difficult ab and core exercises, you keep these principles, you are going to go leaps and bounds to getting a strong core. So the first exercise that I'm going to show you is actually a mobility exercise. At the end of the day, if you can't move your spine and your pelvis into correct positions, you're not going to be able to correct your posture, which takes us all the way back to our tips that we did in the first video. So you have to be able to move the spine and the pelvis in order to get into the correct posture alignment. And only from there can you start doing your core and abdominal strengthening. You know, if you've carried that bad posture for many years, muscles are going to be short, fascia is going to be tight, and it can be really difficult, and you want to say near impossible to try and correct your posture. And that's where your stretching comes in, that we went through those tips in the second video, of trying to loosen the muscles and the fascia to allow you to be able to do the movements. So I'm going to start off by showing you this very simple mobility exercise, and it takes time, and you're going to need to work on it a lot. And you can do it in a sitting position, you can do it in a standing position, but the best and the easiest is to start off in lying position. So I'm going to use a simple bowl, and I'd like you to try this at home and actually just fill your bowl quite close to the brim with water, because only then will you realize how much control you need to have to do these exercises correctly. So I'm going to lie on my back, and I'm going to place this bowl at the base of my lower abs. Alright. So generally, as you're lying on your back, you may be in one of 2 or 3 positions. You're either going to be pressing your lower back into the mat, which is the one that I see most commonly. And as you can see in that position, I'm going to pour this water all over myself. The next one that you might see is a very high arch. So there's a big gaping hole here under my back, and you can see the bowl is now tilted in the opposite direction. Now, part of this exercise is in fact finding a middle place between those 2 positions, but also being able to move from one position to the other. So you're actually learning to move and tilt your pelvis. So with your bowl there, you are going to find your what they call a neutral spine in Pilates, but a correct posture, where your bowl and the water in your bowl is going to sit completely level. And you may need to do a few adjustments and movements until you find that level position. The next thing you've got to watch for is your ribs. So you've got to make sure that that stays flat as well. And the same applies there. You want to lower those ribs down until you get a nice flat, level bowl. So the mobility exercise goes as follows. So from your neutral position, because that's what you're trying to ingrain into your mind, you then lower your back into the mat, tilting the bowl so that the water would then spill towards you, and then you slowly lift up off the mat. It doesn't have to be high, but the angle of your bowl needs to stay exactly as it is now. You don't want to be tilting it back so that it goes flat again, because then you're arching your back. And if I can't, my hip flexors are too tight, but if you try and tilt it up too far, it's going to slide down. Okay. So you want to try and maintain straight line of the bowl and your body. All stays lined up together. You then lower it back down from the top and go back into your neutral position, getting that bowl level. That's the most important part, is being able to go from a tilted position back into a neutral position. And you can take it as high or as low as what you feel comfortable, but just moving each vertebra, each spine bone, one at a time, lifting it off the mat and lowering it back down. You should feel quite a bit of work in your hamstrings as well. That's fine. Most important is I don't want you to feel any strain in your back. So just take it as high as what you can, and with time, you will slowly be able to increase. So now we're going to go on to your first strengthening exercise. And so we go into our neutral position. From here, you're going to lift one leg to 90 degrees, lower it back down, then lift the other leg. Now I want you to be able to do this without the water in that bowl shifting. It's not allowed to shift or spill over the sides. It's not allowed to tilt over either edge. That's got to stay dead center and level. Lifting the one leg up, lowering it back down. As you start to find that easy, you can then move on to lifting both legs. And the bowl will be a dead giveaway as to how hard I'm working, because you'll soon see it start to shake. And you want to try and keep checking that you're keeping your neutral position so that bowl stays level. Once it gets easier, you move your legs further away and you work with a bigger angle. And you can progress this all the way till you are working with straight legs and lifting both legs up at the same time. Keeping the control and that neutral bowl position. Good, the next one. In most cases, people would call this a crunch exercise. But I've seen people doing 200 crunches in the gym. And I can assure you, if you are doing it with this technique correctly, you will not be able to do 200. You'll be lucky to do 20. So, it comes back to your neutral spine. Where a lot of people go wrong with crunches is they tilt and they spill the water over themselves and they hold that position and off they go. That forces you to use a lot of your hip flexors as well as your quads. So you want to keep your bowl in its neutral position. Same with the ribs, and you want to think about lifting your chest and your upper back and your head in one. So it's not just the head, it is one movement of the chest, and you can see how hard I'm working, that bowl's shaking, and lower back down. Lower back down. Trying to keep that bowl in a neutral, flat position. You aim to slide your ribs towards your hips. Ribs towards the hips. And this is a standard chest lift exercise from Pilates. Work on those couple of exercises, and like I said, that's really the basis of core training, and you'll be able to develop quite a bit of strength just doing those two very easy exercises. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed the tips and that they've been helpful that I've given you over the last few weeks. For those of you that have had enough of back pain and had enough of it limiting your lifestyle and really want to just keep going with what you've started with these tips and challenges, we've got an awesome opportunity for you. Body Innovation is running a 4-week Get Your Back challenge. And I want you to take this opportunity and get your life back. Be able to chase your kids around the garden. Be able to dip your partner on the dance floor and not fear the back pain you might have afterwards. So if you're keen, if you're ready to take this on, hop into our landing page here at the bottom, send us your details, we'll be able to see a bit more information about it as well. If you've got questions, you can email us. But I think it's time. Get your back back, get your life back, and I hope we see you soon.